Well, with the war in Syria dominating the talks at the G20 meeting in China, the refugee agreement between Europe and Turkey appears to be on the verge of falling apart. Turkey wants visa-free travel for its citizens in return for stemming the flow of refugees into Europe. Both sides are accusing the other of not keeping up their end of the bargain. For more on this, let's go to Gerald Knaus, who's in Berlin, in Germany. He's the chairman of the European Stability Initiative. That's a think tank on working on European integration and migration issues. Gerald, good to have you with us. At the moment, the number of refugees which are arriving in Greece is said to be falling. Does that mean that the deal between Turkey and the EU has been effective?
Well, it has been very effective in two respects. The number of people who cross in the last few months has fallen dramatically. If you compare the winter months of this year, January and February, you had more than 100,000 people come. And if you look at June, July, you had 3,000 people come, so 3%. And of course, you had a lot less people drown. For some months, in the last 5 months, you had nobody drown in the Aegean. So in this respect, it's working still very well, but there are dangers.
Indeed, and of course this deal is under threat because of the EU's failure to grant visa-free travel to Turkey. How precarious has the agreement become?
Well, the point is that without visa-free travel and without Turkey making an additional effort to prove that it is a safe country for the people on the Greek islands to be returned to and to apply for protection in Turkey according to international standards, without this, all the people who arrive in Greece will be stuck on the islands forever. And until now, not a single person has been returned from the Greek islands who applied for asylum there to Turkey. So the EU needs Turkey to do more, but Turkey rightly says, if we do more, we want visa liberalization. And this is where it is stuck, but it is in the vital interest of both sides to rescue this agreement, both for humanitarian reasons, because of the refugees, but also for political reasons, because what we see across Europe is a rising anti-Turkish, anti-Muslim, anti-refugee far right, and they would be the only ones who would benefit from a collapse of this agreement.
If you look at the other side of the deal, it also provides for Syrian refugees already in Turkey who've made formal applications to be relocated to the EU. But the figures are showing that not many have actually been resettled in the EU.
Yes, the figures until now show that just barely more than 1,200 have been resettled in 5 months. This is very low. I think what has to happen here is that the EU and Turkey need to recognize that the agreement, which had 2 phases for resettlement, has worked, the numbers have fallen, and the time has come for point 4 of this agreement, which is about serious, substantial resettlement from Turkey of Syrians to the EU. Point 4 should now be implemented, and this requires preparation, administration on the side of both Turkey and the EU. Turkey and the EU have talked in recent months for large numbers, a few 100,000. At the moment, the capacity to actually process these numbers are not in place, but they need to be put in place quickly.
Gerald, good to speak with you. Thank you for your analysis there. Gerald Knaus there.